おはようございます。新共和国パイロットです。今日はマイクロソフトフライトシミュレーターの公式集会コミュニティフラインフライデー、ですね。今日の、飛行区域はですね、アメリカのユタ州の国立公園です。ワールドアップデート22かな、が来て、で、アメリカの国立公園がアップデートされたんですね。で、それをまあ、見に行く、旅だと思います。ゲドクさんも今日ゼロ戦に。でもゼロ戦に見えるけど、この方多分ゼロ戦じゃないんだよな。なんでゼロ戦に見えるんだろう。不思議、なかなか不思議でございますけれども。まあ、それはそれ。なんか隊長が、毎回恒例のブリーフィングをしてらっしゃいますね。今日はバボさんは、E38 ライトニング。なんか今日いっぺんに見える人の数が少ない気がするなぁ。As you can see from your screen there, we have 178 nautical miles to go today. So any aircraft with a cruise speed of 100 or 110 knots, something like that, should be fine. ワールドアップデートがあったので、同時に見える飛行機の数減らしてるんでしょうか。ちょっとわかりませんけど、いつもより少ない気がいたしますです。Or NVIDIA GeForce Now, or if you're on Flight Sim 2020 or Flight Sim 2024, everyone can fly with us on Community Fly on Friday. Exclamation mark fly in the chat. We'll give you a link for all the instructions you need to join our fly-in today. So I'm flying the NX Cub.NX カブだそうですね、隊長は。今日ちょっと遅いっすからね。巡航速度が、100ノットなので、ゼロ戦だとだいぶのんびり飛ばなあかん感じになりますね。
It does mean I can probably dip into the canyon every now and then and have a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I'm hoping. I haven't tried this yet. We might do it live on the first try here. As you know, we are flying through Arches National Park, which does have, as its name would suggest, some beautiful rock arch formations. Whoa, what's going on here? I started in a park spot. Here I am in virtual walk around mode. There's virtual pilot PD, looks just like me. Let me just hit shift D to enter the aircraft, and we'll do the cheap Control E fast engine startup.
何国立か3つ国立公園もあるって書いてあったような気がするけど、何国立公園かはちょっとわからないのでございますね。リサーチ不足で申し訳ございませんが、例によってそんな感じでございます。さあ、今日はどんな飛行機が見えるか。
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys. I do apologize. I can't seem to see people around at the moment. But let's get this show.
セスナ172ライトニングの向こうは何だろう。これは書いてない PC12 に見えてますが、ドラコ。ドラコ。もう行くのかな、そろそろ。じゃあ流れに沿っていきますか。 はい、離陸。お、プロペラ回転数フル。ちょっと、あ、お、トリムが、あ、今やっと先端。やべえ。はい、エアボーン。はい、ギアアップ。エンジン回転数。とりあえず2500まで下げましょうか。それからトリムセット。
Okay, this one worked better this time. I am now spawning on the runway and expected, ready for takeoff.
はい、じゃあ座席の高さ合わせて。
Parking brake disabled, full throttle is
はい、
in, and I'm rolling
どう
underway
も閉まらね
our World Update 22 U.S. National Parks Community Flying Friday
え。はい、
Utah.
US ナショナルパーク。めちゃめちゃいいとこですからね。ナショナルパークでなくてもユタ州とかのめちゃめちゃ広がる荒野みたいなところはいいですよね。
Even the scenery just around the airport here at Canyonlands, already magnificent. It's amazing. You know, I've been watching, obviously, every time we release an update, we watch the
逆
feedback.
側から離陸の人たちも
And
何
the
人か。
reviews we're seeing so far for World Update 22, very positive from our players. Love to hear that kind of feedback.
It'd be interesting to hear from those in chat actually how much of the national parks you've done, if you've done anything other than Utah, because of course as Stevie says, this is one of the few of the national parks.
ヘリコプター。
Nice gloss of paper over it.
When I was planning the flight, I mean, I think I announced this last week, but I knew that this week's community flying was going to be centered around the World Update 22 with national parks. I think by visitor volume and certainly by fame, probably the two most famous national parks in the United States are the Grand Canyon and Yosemite. But we've done both of those before in Community Flying Friday. So I wanted to do something new that we hadn't been before. So I thought, you know, there's some great national parks in Utah, all within sort of relative close proximity to each other. I thought we'd check those out. Really looking forward to our flight today.
That's fantastic. Fantastic idea.
あ、隊長発
And
見。
it's not somewhere I've been before, so this is new to me. Completely new to me as well. So I look forward to all of yourself and all of chat to familiarize myself with the area.
Boy, this terrain is beautiful. Look at that. It's the sharp contrast of these bluffs and, you know,
お、
desert hills,
P38、
cliffside, sharp cliff faces.
ボボさん。
I'm ignoring the magenta line just because I want to fly over some of these canyons. Canyonlands National Park here. Also see Sporty Reese, I hope I said your name correctly there, says, hi everyone, it's my first fly-in. Apologies if I don't do it correct. Well, welcome in. Nice
いやー、アメリカの国立公園、有名なところありますよね。イエローストーンとか、グラシアスだったっけ、ヨセミテ。まあ、もともと結構素晴らしかったですけどね。
I'm just following this road here, and there's a cliff edge over to my right-hand side, and it just looks absolutely phenomenal. And you can see there's power
Over
lines as
G.
well, so there's
えあ、そうか。
there is
失速。
incredible
お、
amount of detail
お、お、
here.
何
I'm
何
pretty sure you can probably follow this road by map if you're doing VFR, and they will take you to where you need to be.
失速して落ちちゃった。どういうこと？何が起きたのかよくわかんなかったな。
Space Darkster says I did some flying around the Grand Tetons. It looked pretty good. Bright Canyon looked pretty good, but was a little photogrammetry lumpy in places. The general area is much improved, of course. Do we have a Discord? We do. Type !! Discord in the chat, and I'll give you a link to that.
I think Enderin raised a good point about the fly-in as well, and flying quote-unquote by the rules. There aren't any. It's a free flight for everyone. You can do what you want. We're all here if you want to go and join us. But if you want to go and dip into a canyon and take a look, which is what myself and CD were saying we might do every now and then by all means, go take a closer look.
はあ、
I will most definitely.
先週ほんといろいろあって飛べなかったんですよね。
see how that goes.
Yeah. Just once again, getting back to my POV here. Look at the scenery, these bluffs, cliffs below me.
なかなかちょっと最
Of
近
course,
ね、
this is an incredibly popular spot for
いろい
hikers,
ろな
mountain
ことが
bikers,
重なり合って、
and you can see why as we fly over it.
体調ももう一つ良くないし、
On our way to Arches National Park.
なかなか
Okay,
夜のんびりとしていられない。
Yeah, just, you know, one of the nice things about Flying Friday is we have hundreds of people all flying together, so just follow the pack. Embrace your inner lemming. Just make one with the flock of other aircraft all flying together. Wisdom of crowds, they say, you know,
アイスは
everyone's
さ、
probably
今日
heading
何
all
乗ってんだ
in the right direction. Yeah, as Ederin said, just follow the rest, it's fine.
ラーマ。
You can see that on the top left of my screen here, the first waypoint is the Eye of the Whale Arch.
Eye of the Whale Arch.
So in Arches National Park, for anyone who's unaware, it has all these rock formations that are the shape of arches. You know, not coincidental, it's the name of the park. And some of the more famous arches are given names. And we'll see if we can fly through them. TBD. I'm gonna dive down low into this canyon. I think there's the same road and power lines. The landing was
こういうの見ただけでもちょっとワクワクしますね。なんかデコボコしてて。でも体調の速度に追いつけない。追いつけないっていうか、そこまでゆっくりにできない。ちょっと燃料を落とすか。重いかもね。ちょっと燃料を落として、ちょっと機体を軽くしました。LAMA って見たことあるけど、どんな飛行機だったかね。今のところ、スタッターはまあちょい多め。
MH60, the Norden, the Pelican, Caravan, I think of a Cessna, a Grumman Albatross. Well, you know, we're in a pretty dry, arid part of the world right now. Albatross is very famously an amphibious aircraft, so probably won't be able to use its aquatic features. But still, that's a beautiful plane. EC-135.
この辺ももう国立公園なのかな。
The Draco, P-38, Cessna 172, H-65, and F-18. Oh, that would be a fun one too, to do some canyon runs in a military jet. RV-10, Ederin, of course, flying the Pelican. Cessna 172, RV-10.
ペリカンがいるってことは2020の方？
Mr. Buse has tweeted, "Hello, my son has graciously allowed me to use the Xbox." Well, how very nice of your son to share. All right, once again. Oh wow! Look at this terrain. Look at these rock formations. So cool.
That's been very fun. I'm getting really close just to see at what point the terrain starts to break, but it's just not happening. It's so well done.
Okay, Eye of the Whale Arch. Somewhere is that? Oh, that's probably it there. You know what?
体調の低速にみんな対戦機はついていけない。あ、アイスマさんは今日はヘリコプターに見える。ヘリコプターなのかどうか。あれさっきでも、でもヘリコプターに見えるからヘリコプターなのかな。いきなりランドマークがある。
should try and invest in it. I feel like it will add a lot to this strip. So I'm a bit jealous on selling the
バランスドロック。へえ。
Hopefully, watching that and the stream isn't going to make you too dizzy, Sedek.
いかにも手作り感はありますね。手作り感はありますけど、ちょっと色のバランスが他と合ってない気がすんな。あの2つだけ。他のシーナリーの色合いと。ここら辺は別にフォトグラメトリーのエリアじゃないですね。バランスドロック。こいつがでも手作りじゃないから、ちょっと微妙。いや、本当ですよ。週末の始まり。でも、この週末もバタバタとやることがあるんだよな。あるんでございますよ。生きていくには仕方がないことですけどもね。なんか最近バタバタしてるっていうか、エネルギーが出ないっていうか。
So once again, to all our American viewers in the chat, a happy early 4th of July holiday to all of you. Of course, it is the 250th anniversary of the United States signing the Declaration of Independence, July 4th, 1776. So that's the holiday tomorrow. And all my fellow Canadians in the chat, a happy belated Canada Day to all of you. Of course, July 1st is our Canada Day national holiday.
What better way to celebrate a pre-4th of July than to invite a British guest to our fly-in?
フォトグラメトリーのエリアではないですね。
Someone checked the World Cup, but there is a chance that it could be England versus United States on July 4th in the round of 16. Is that still happening, or if the matchups?
No, I think the way things were drawn, it was definitely a possibility from the very beginning, but it hasn't happened, which means that we can have a nice civilized conversation here without chat blowing up.
Well, of course, I'm sure a lot of you in the chat following the World Cup.
この時あなたやが大きいので、多分未整地に短距離着陸できる飛行機なんでしょうね。なんて言うんだっけ。黒缶。黒缶じゃないか。なんだっけ。隊長おはようございます。今日もよろしくお願いします。
I don't know. I do like the home field advantage. I think with the fans behind. We'll see. The only thing
100ノットだと0戦にはちょっと遅いんだよな。お、すげえ崖だ。
I'm sure you have as well. And I think they're probably some of the weaker ones.
これはでも
we'll get there.
写真測量ではなさそうな気がするけどな。
I didn't have tickets, but I went just to enjoy the crowds and the festivities for the last group stage match, Canada versus Switzerland. I joined the march to the stadium with all the supporters. I gotta say, my fellow Canadians are singing and chanting. It's weak. We gotta step it up. The other countries are putting us to shame.
それにしてもなかなかのすごいところですね。ここら辺は もしかしたら、
Taking my breath away, chat.
写真、手作り全体が
You know, it's funny, the number of Canada fans
写真測量になったかっていうと、ここら辺はそうでも半ばって感じですね。ポリゴンの植物がないですからね。
I avoided the 4th of July conversations, but football really brought me back into it. Yeah,
well, I have to say, you know, England is my second team. Obviously, I cheer my home team, Canada, first, and then everyone has a number 2 team that they also follow, right? So mine is England. My mother, you know, half my family is all English.
素晴らしいのは素晴らしいですね。でも、シーナよりとしてはデフォルトチームなりの気がしますけどね。あ、向こうに山もある。いいとこやな。
These national teams play within their clubs most of their career, right? So it depends on how far afield the team's been assembled from. So yeah, it's really interesting. You get some of the countries where some of the players are more used to being in the same team in the same league.
素晴らしいね。
And yeah, you get to see some of the advantages of that. But I do like it. I think it's a really good level up the World Cup. I like the vibes. I like what I'm seeing in social media. It just seems like the world's really getting together, which, you know, as flight simmers, as aviators, we really like, right? The international community.
Yeah, well, we'll put a pin on that exact up. We'll come back to that in a moment. Just want to point out I'm currently flying over.
ウケドクさんおはようございます。いい飛行機乗っていらっしゃるじゃありませんか。And just looking at this area from the air, I can see why. I think a trip to Moab and this area, Arches National Park, Canyonlands, and then eventually Bryce Canyon, which we're heading to. I think this is definitely in store for me in the future. Look at this cliff face to my right-hand side. Southern Rebel, you've been there to Moab. Dropshot says, without Harry Kane, England has no chance. Well, I mean, that's true for almost any team, right? That's like saying, well, without Messi, Argentina has no chance. Or without Mbappe, France has no chance. I mean, of course. 体調がだいぶグラグラしてるから、体調のエスコートがみんな困っていらっしゃる。ちょい遅すぎるんだよな、ゼロ戦には。
What the hole in the rock attraction is south of the airport waypoints. I do not know what that is. Maybe someone in chat knows. Simdom says, don't go around Easter though if you want to enjoy the peace and quiet nature there. Is that when you went, Tom, to this area, to Moab and the surrounding national parks? You're running a bit behind, but that's okay. You know, it's a very chill flight. You know, you don't need to be exactly with the group. Maybe pick a faster plane if you want and fly at a higher throttle setting to catch up. いや、ほんとこういうところもいいですな。リアルタイムですね。ライブウェザーじゃなくて、天候はプレセットの冬です。I was not thinking it was going to be up that soon. Yeah, that is the runway. Okay, I gotta.
みんな最初のポイントから移動してない。ここら辺が国立公園なのかな。だから何国立公園かは知らんけど。知らんけど。 タッチングをしてる。
So Tom, when you were here, did you fly into this airport, or did you like fly into Salt Lake City and then drive here? Oh, not even aligned with the runway.
スカイランチ。
Yeah, okay. The touchdown was smooth, but this was a
スムーズ。素晴らしい。タッチダウンはスムーズ。
very sloppy flying.
そういう風に言いたいですね。
I was so distracted by all the beautiful scenery here around the Moab area.
いやでもなんかイメージ的に国立公園全体を写真測量化してくれたのかなと思ってたので、若干ここは拍子抜けやな。
Doesn't really know the area. I certainly don't.
You know, I'd have to do an exact count, but I believe I've visited approximately half the 50 U.S. states at this point, or at least close to. But Utah is not one of them, and I know it's renowned for its rugged natural beauty that we're seeing on our flight today. Maybe at some point I will have to make a trek here and enjoy some beautiful hiking, maybe some mountain biking, camping, etc.
今タッチングをしてる。2024って着陸飛行場の数とか数えてくれてたっけ？ 2020はなんかいろんな空港降りると着陸空港とか離陸空港とか覚えてくれてて会があったような気がするんですけど、タッチダウンってログにも記録されるのかな。
You put exclamation mark fly in the chat, and that will give you all the details for our flight plan today. Where we just did a touch and go a moment ago is Uniform Tango 53, UT 53, just south of Moab.
やばいな。
According to my map.
Got my autopilot engaged back
水美味しい。
altitude now. Once again, look at this scenery shot. This is
こ
like,
のフラインフライ
I
で
know, please don't ignorance here, but this canyon's up ahead. Is this part of the Grand Canyon? Or is this an entirely separate canyon? I know the Grand Canyon
ヨーロッパの夕方8時からやってるんで、日本だと土曜日の
considered part of the Grand Canyon or
朝3時からでちょっと参加しにくい時間帯なんですよね。なので、日本人で参加されてる方、割と少ないですけど、
NASA says you flew your drone around Delicate Arch before drones were banned in national parks. As says Airwolf will build their lair here. Yes, you had to be a certain age to get that reference. Anyone who doesn't know, Airwolf was the 1980s television show about a high-tech, top-secret helicopter. You know, the 80s were kind of like the glory days for vehicle-based TV shows, you know, with Airwolf and Knight Rider, Blue Thunder. I think there was one about a motorbike too. I don't know what that one was called. Whatever happened to that? We didn't get those anymore, right? Street Hawk, yes, that's the one. And the Airwolf theme, yes, that was a classic.
We don't need to make shows about that anymore. We're living in it.
I suppose, right? Like what seemed very futuristic. back in the
ついに
80s, now
次のエリア
modern
に
life today. Boy, chat, this scenery is something special. In fact, the vehicle-based TV genre, it was a thing, Factual. You're old enough to remember this. There was an entire genre in the 80s of like heroic people with high-tech vehicles going around, you know, fighting crime and stuff. Does RoboCop count, even though he's not a vehicle? You know, I'm going to say no. It's sort of adjacent to that. If RoboCop had a really cool talking car, then yes, that would count.
ロボコップとかなんかライフ映画のことを話していらっしゃいますな。
Someone mentioned Herbie. Not sure if you know that one.
Herbie the Love Bug, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
これでも体調からはゼロ戦見えてないんだよな。めっちゃ残念やな。
Semi-autonomous and its own character. Or even the Transformers. Those were like
トランスフォーマーズ。なんかそういう作品タイトルだけ理解できる。
Series about RoboCop using kits could be the car Knight Rider. As Uber would be so.
ナイトライダー。ナイトライダーはテレビのシリーズかな。しかしまたこうやって編隊飛行してると地形の美しさが全然見えないですね。
Hello, Wombi. Nice to see you.
おお、素晴らしい。
You know, Chad, it's not often, because I know I say this every week, that wherever we're flying in the world is so picturesque and beautiful. It's not often, though, that the scenery leaves me speechless. But flying here with the latest World Update 22, this is really taking my breath away. This scenery.
07のレジナンバーどっかに出てもよかったですけどね。ちょっとうざいか。ちょっとうざいと言えばうざいかもしれないですね。マイクロソフトフライトシミュレーター2020だったオンライン、マルチプレイヤーだと、他の人の飛行機のレジナンバーのところが正しく見えないっていうバグが、結構長いこと続いてたな。治ったんだっけな。この隊長のシーディル隊長の文字がちゃんと貼り付けられなくて、あそこのとこなんか白い四角で書いてあったりしてたんですよね。これ機体の下にある紐みたいなのは何だろう。
Anne says this is Glen Canyon, according to Skydiving.
わかんないな。なんだろうな。着陸したとどっかに係留しとくロープかな。
For most of my US-based colleagues on the Microsoft Flight Sim team, it is a holiday for them today. Obviously, it's the July 4th Independence Day holiday tomorrow, but because it falls on a Saturday, Microsoft is giving all the US-based employees today off as their holiday instead. So Jane is not working today. But we are hoping that Jane will be back as our
常連の方の名前がちらほらと。
Which, by pure coincidence, I'll tell you, folks, we plan out our Fly-In Fridays about a month in advance, so I already know everything we're doing for July, for example. And I swear this was not planned. It just was absolutely serendipitous. Sim Tom, if you could think of a good send-off location for Jane for her final Fly-In Friday, what would you pick as the location for that? It is not Iceland, Simtov, but that would be appropriate too, I agree. I think something that has a lot of meaning to the flight sim community, which Jane has been such a part of for so long. Yeah, you got another second guess. It is Kiribati. Believe it or not, chat, again, this was not planned. This is just pure coincidence. Next week is Kiribati Independence Day. And as you know in chat, we like to choose our destinations based on the various national holidays and recognize different countries as they celebrate their national day. And next week, by pure coincidence, is the national day of Kiribati. And so I had planned that out in advance. And then Jane just happened, oh wait, this will probably be her last time joining.
来週はクリバスってどこだろう。ナショナルデーを記念して飛ぶって言ってますね。ナショナルホリデー。クリバスってどこだろう。
And yeah, we could not have planned that one better, just how serendipitous it was that the final fly-in Friday with Jane as a member of the team is going to be in Kiribati.
Are we keeping the store horn? That's the
I've asked Jane. She has given us perpetual permission to use her voice likeness in this call.
There we go.
Brandon says, I keep forgetting that wake turbulence is big. I got taken out by a helicopter's turbulence a minute ago. That happened to Wambi a few weeks back. We had him as a guest on the stream. He got blown over completely by a helicopter. If you want to go into your options, you can disable wake turbulence.
いやー、すごいとこですな。
Many other aircraft flying around. It'd be a bit of a nightmare flying with wake turbulence here. Spood stream says it's been more than 10 minutes. Why haven't we landed yet? Well, we did a touch and go not too long ago.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah, I think we've got. He's trying to invoke his consumer rights. The advertising wasn't quite truthful. We'll try and find somewhere else to land within 10 minutes to satisfy him.
Okay, question for chat. I assume most of you have seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Now, if you remember, that film opens with a flashback sequence to young Indy, who I think was played by River Phoenix, if I remember correctly. And he's a Boy Scout on a hiking trip with his Boy Scout troop. I think that was in Utah. Does anyone remember like what national park or what part of Utah young Indy was exploring with his Boy Scout troop at the start of Last Crusade? Anyone in chat know that? It was in Utah, says he's previous.
Good.
Certainly, that scene very much reminds me of the terrain we're flying over right now. So, wondering if this is the same car. Yes, it belongs in a museum. Yes.
あぶっちゃった今日2機も飛行機壊しちゃった。
Dropship says there's super shot at Arches National Park.
これから壊ってないやろか。あ、大丈夫だ。いかん。今日は本当にいかん。今日もかもしれんけど。
Anyone's looking for a movie to watch later after today's flight. First 15 minutes or so of that movie will be relevant. This update is made almost seems 3D. Yeah, it's impressive. I'm just going to come back to my POV here for a moment. Look at these canyons below, these riverbeds. This is something special. You'll enjoy this.
大自然の脅威やね。
Taking it all in. Incredible.
しかし、アメリカの国立公園ってなんかすごいのはすごいんですけど、 ああいう本当の僻地のチベットの山奥とか、あっちのパタゴニアの山奥とか、サハラ砂漠とか、本当にこう、なんていうんかな。その、国そのものが生きにくいみたいな、そういうところとは若干ちょっと違いますね、やっぱ。なんか、アクセスはできそうな。
I'm privileged that I can actually count two. I know some people really make it their dream to go to those places, but
辺境っていう感じはあんまりないですね。
So I've done the Grand Canyon and I've done Yosemite.
Those be I think by visitor count, those are the top two most popular. Yellowstone, I think might be number 3.
イエローストーン国立公園は行ってみたいですけど、多分今日のコースには入ってないと思うんですよね。
Chat, what are some other of your favorite national parks in the United States?
イエローストーン、ヨセミテ、グランドキャニオン、モニュメントバレー。モニュメントバレーは国立公園の名前ではないかもしれんけど。
There's one we've done on the Flying Friday before. It's a shared national park. It's I think one of the only national parks in the entire world that is jointly administered by 2 countries.
これもちょっと珍しい飛行機だ。
Province of Alberta and the state of Montana, right on the border, share a national park. I think that was the Rocky Mountains, very picturesque and beautiful. Utah says Volcano National Park in Hawaii. This is Everglades, Florida. It's Olympic National Park in Washington. Sequoia National. Oh, Sequoia would be a nice one for the really tall trees. Very famous in California. Sarah, you've been to Yellowstone before? Death Valley. Death Valley, allegedly the driest place on Earth.
もうスピードがでも130ノット出てるけどね。
Got a bit of information gathering behind me now. Shout out to all of you. Uncle David says Death Valley is not as dry as some of the dad jokes here. Factual. If you're still in the chat, are you going to let that stand?
あれなんだ。
As you get older,
DH4 に見えてるのか。
Factual says, what was that? Factual, if you scroll up, Elkin David says that Death Valley in California, the driest place in the world, is not as dry as some of the dad jokes here. So, you've been summoned.
What are you trying to imply, CD?
Well, Factual, I'm sure anyone who watches her channel, queen of dad jokes. People Wingman says Yosemite is my favorite. People Wing says Zion National Park in Utah. It's a very nice park. So I was seeing if I could put Zion on today's flight plan as well, but it's in a completely different part of the state. We could have gone there, but would have had to fly a much faster aircraft. And I thought for today's flight, I wanted to put something low and slow and really take in the scenery. Commander Freezer says, hey, CD, happy Friday. How's the flight? Flight is gorgeous. We are having a fantastic time flying over 3 different national parks in Utah, which were just updated. We'll update them. Like I said, you ever heard about the Dark Star? We've seen them all. So interesting you say that. You can go online. Someone has made a driving, a road trip map to visit every national park and national monument in the United States. And you could probably take that same map and recreate it in Flight City and visit every national park that way. Look at these views that Lane's doing us right now. God, it's stunning, right?
It's phenomenal. And this is what I mean by the details on zooming these.
セスナ172
And it performs well.
はヘリコプター。
Oh, maybe. Yeah, okay, so Rob's saying McMurdo, Dry Valley, and Antarctica is supposed to be the driest place. Maybe Death Valley is the hottest place? I know it has a record for something. Someone in chat look that up. Is Death Valley the hottest place on Earth? Hottest, yes.
よく見るやつ。B36。ビーチクラフトボナンザ。モデル 36?
Alright, chat. I'm gonna disable my autopilot. We're gonna pull a Luke Skywalker here and dive down into these canyons.
ピッチ先生。いや、ピッチ先生。
Over G.
あ、やべまた
Over G.
The formation started to split. Everyone's diving into
スピンに入ってた。こんなにスピンに入りやすかったっけあ、今度はプロペラ壊れちゃった。これやべえ。
Matt gives us some stats on Death Valley and how it holds the world record for hottest recorded temperature.
すごい。お、いいとこだね。
Learning about our world and sharing geography facts with each other. What is it that makes flying through a canyon so fun? Look at everyone together. This is great. Everyone diving down.
いや、いいとこですな。
We got Hot Wings NZ and Kiwi Craig. The two of them are
墜落した。
Their usernames would both imply they're from New Zealand.
この機械に。おー、いいとこだね。しかし、下で。大地を楽しんでいる場合じゃなかった。
We would not want to get a copyright strike on the channel for sure. By the way, how's everyone enjoying the music? Is the volume good on that? Not too quiet, not too loud? I think a nice southwestern style soundtrack for today's broadcast.
Oh, speaking of music, I've been really into country music now. I have been listening to that.
いやー、今日はなんか失速特性が厳しいな。今日終わんなのかな。普通に失速するだけでスピンに入る。こんなだったっけ、この飛行機。
You can say it's fairly basic. I know there's about 4 or 5 common themes to these, but it just sounds good, and I like the vibe. So yeah, if you're into country, as am I.
Now, what era of country music? Because there's different. Like I think I like is more of like the 60s and 70s. Kind of
いや、
stuff.
平和ですな。でも
Johnny Cash, Dolly Parton.
素晴らしいね、アメリカ国立
You
公
know, where
園。
it's very soulful and mournful. Like it's like basically blue collar sounds for people down on their luck. Whereas modern kind of music,
そうじゃないかもしれんな。なんか、プロペラ交流に巻き込まれてんのかもな。そうかも。プロペラ交流一旦オフにするか。集会の時は飛行機入り乱れるから。どこだっけ、アシストだったような気がするけどな。後方乱気流ちょっとオフにしてみるか。これでだいぶ飛びやすくなるかもな。
location.
In terms of the emotion of some of the more classic country music you were talking about, CD, Surly Dev says if you listen to it backwards, it has a happy ending, so you should try that.
There was an article making the rounds a while ago. There's like a top 10 list of best country song titles that aren't actually real songs. I don't remember most of them, but one of them I thought was just perfect. Was I wish this beer was as cold as your heart.
ウーピー冷えたな。頭がトンボみたいなやつでしたっけ。水が飲みたい。
All right, chat. I think we got a while to go to our next waypoint. Yeah, 86 nautical miles. So let me pull up our map. This is our live streamer map. You want to drop your location, you can type exclamation mark map space your city name in the chat. So I'll do here, exclamation mark map Vancouver, Canada. See my pin show up here. There's D right there. So in the chat, type exclamation mark map, then space, and then your location, and we'll see where all our viewers are coming from today. Now I see there's over 150 of you watching, so I want to see at least 100 of you drop a pin. All you lurkers out there, this is your chance. You don't need to be chatty, you don't need to be talkative. It's okay. We won't call you by name or anything. But just come out of hiding and put exclamation mark followed by your location. So we can see where all our viewers are from.
Give them a bit of a break, CD. They try not to pin in the candidate.
This is why I turned my autopilot on. Back to cruise altitude.
Seeing some of these Norwegian names and they really have a clue how to pronounce some of these.
So far, I see North and South America, Europe, Africa, Oceania. Is this Kiribati? Sim Tom, is that you? Of course, Sim Tom, but Kiribati. That's an old school Flying Friday joke. Everyone used to put Kiribati in their location.
いいとこだけど、特に写真測量になってるとかそういうことはなさそうですな。この辺も国立公園なのかな。
Our lone African viewer right now, we have Makeb from Mali.
Nice.
We got 3 from South America. We got Lipstig is from Brazil. We have got Osipler from Lima, Peru. And Rennie from Venezuela.
おお、なんかすごいいいじゃん。
And then, everyone else from
すごいテクスチャだね。
Europe. All right, Jeff, 55 of you have put your location on the map, but I'm seeing 160 people.
この岩の感じはちょっと珍しいな。珍しいけど写真測量ではない。
Interesting. There's not a lot of people around Asia.
Viewer is Ederin.
Yeah.
And our most southerly viewer, it looks like to be Hot Wings in Auckland. I think
Wings incredibly dedicated.
Yeah. I think I've told this trivia fact before, but one thing I like about the United States. Geographically speaking, as measured by latitude and longitude, the state of Australia, not Australia, the state of Alaska I was looking at Australia and my brain got across.
広々してますな。
The most northerly, easterly, and westerly points in the United States. And you'd be like, well, how can Alaska be the most easterly point? Well, if you zoom in here, the Aleutian Islands here in Alaska, this is part of the United States. It stretches past
Spitfire だ。
meridian. So again, it's measured by latitude and longitude. The northernmost point, westernmost point, and easternmost point are all the state of Alaska. Yeah, zoom in, we'll see where all our European viewers are from. We've got a lot from the UK. We got Northern Ireland here. Tim in Ireland. We've got Sparrows from Spain.
さあ、じゃあ、
Story from France. France went very well in the World Cup. I would say France is probably the favorite, along with Argentina, to win, I think, at this point. Rematch, maybe, of the last final.
Yeah.
Story from Malta. Oh, a lot of viewers from
ア
Malta.
メリカの守護神でも見に行きますか。
Eric from Italy. Got a lot of you from Germany.
アメリカじゃねえ。イギリスの守護神だ。本当にもうおじいちゃんになって、言葉が出てこないっていうか、頭で思ってる言葉と違う言葉が出てくる。
Sadak from Finland. APU inspector from Sweden. Oh, Nordic regions are nicely represented. No one from Iceland, though. And no Danes here either today. Train ahead. Uh-oh. Am I gonna... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, oh, thanks for the warning. Autopilot disabled. Full throttle in. We gotta climb. Was not paying attention to that at all. Focused on the viewer
あ
map.
れどの人だっけ。あれだ。
The representation from
B で
UK
始
and
ま
Europe,
る。
though, that looked really good. Very well populated.
コールサインの人。
73.4 nautical miles to our next waypoints. That mountain came out
あ
of
わわわ。
Just
埴輪。古墳と一緒に埋められそうですね。
flying, and then this mountain just showed up right in front of me. We almost had what in the business would be called a sea fifth.
あ、決まった。
Flight into terrain. This plane collides with the ground, usually because the aircraft like flew into fog or clouds or something, and crashed into the side of a mountain, even though there was nothing wrong with the aircraft. The pilot was flying properly. Could not see where they were going.
it's hard to explain the sea in the on a day like this where you can see absolutely for absolute miles.
Don't know if anyone saw news. Twitch ended up banning a streamer earlier this week. She was live streaming while driving from the car and reading her chat, which is stupid. Distracted driving, folks. Don't do it. Whether you're text messaging your friends or live streaming to an audience on Twitch. Don't be a distracted driver. Oh boy, we're climbing over 10,000 feet. And my climb performance is suffering. Ooh, I gotta lean the next here. Gotta go to 12,500 feet to clear this mountain. My NX Cup should be able to do that.
You're not far behind. It's the same mountain I'm looking at, but I've fortunately had the
さあ、イギリスの守護神、スピットファイヤー。
Your aircraft also has much better climb performance and a higher service ceiling than mine. Just passed through 11,000.
どこの国のリバリーや？
Okay, I think I should be fine. Looks like I'm clear of the top.
イギリスか。
Just over 11,500.
So, CD, you know, I know quite a bit about the 4th of July, but you were talking about Canada Day, which happened earlier this week.
July 1st, yeah.
But July 1st. What's the general thing there? Is it a public holiday for yourselves?
It is. It's a national holiday. Everyone in Canada, obviously other than like essential workers, typically get the day off work. And it's kind of all the same things that most countries do for their national holidays, like festivals, parades, fireworks shows, things like that.
For those of you who are celebrating Independence Day for America tomorrow, what's everyone got planned?
あんなマイナス字書けるような操縦普通はしないと思いますけど
What's
ね。
happening this weekend in the UK? We get some really good weather here, so I imagine a few barbecues are happening. So, just wondered if anyone's doing something like that this weekend as well in chat.
Well, when
ダ
you
ッ
say
クグ
really
リーン
good
と
weather,
ダークグレーの
wave over, like,
明細
complaining about the intense heat in the UK recently. How he doesn't have air conditioning. He's even had to cancel his live streams. PC was forgiven.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because we only.
なんだあれ
I mean, I think
栄転だ。
the stereotype about British weather. Those, you know,
はい、スピードが焼いた。
there is fire. It's not unreasonable to say we have typically rubbish weather in the UK. But for the 4 days of the year that we actually have decent weather, sometimes it goes a little bit too much. And yeah, this is one of those occasions where we're not used to it.
いや、かっこいいね、ゼロ
We're
戦。
quite good at the rain. We're quite good at maybe the cold. When it gets a fair bit warm, and you have to travel by means like the underground, for instance, it do struggle. Yeah, Matt C says anything above 27 degrees is a heat wave. So maybe, and that's not even untrue. So maybe compare that to what you would define as a heat wave where you're from.
Well, I mean, I would say in Canada, I would say the same. My ideal comfort temperature is low 20s Celsius, like 20 to 23, 24. That's like perfect for me. It's nice, it's warm, but it's not too uncomfortably hot. Once you get into the
変わった形の山がある。
Mommy says, I went down a rabbit hole reading about the pronunciation of Kiribati from the local pronunciation of the British name Gilbert Islands. And I was confused about the spelling TI for S, but then I realized even in English, you sometimes spell an S like sound as TI, like initiate.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, I'll be blunt here, Mommy. I had never even heard of this country until Flight Sim 2020 launched. And then all of a sudden, everyone in the world, every flight simmer in the world anyways, was from there. I always thought it was pronounced Kiribati, like the way it was spelled. But then I looked it up one day, the actual correct pronunciation is Kiribati.
灰色か銀色か、なんかそんな色に見えますね。
Oh, 40 is like right out. That's so uncomfortable. Here's the thing. I mean, I live in a generally cold weather climate country. I will take cold weather over hot weather any day. You can combat cold weather. You just put on warmer clothing. You can stay indoors. When it gets too uncomfortably hot, you can't.
第2戦回第1戦ファンとしては、0戦買ってくださいね。もうとにかく営業あるのみ。
And my question for you then, TV, is what's your upper and lower limit? I guess we'll probably have to find out what that means in Fahrenheit for some of our North American friends. But yeah, what's your upper and lower limit in terms of what you're willing to put up with before you become uncomfortable?
I would say in the winter months, like it gets. I would say where I'm discussing it being, oh, it's a cold day,
あ
-5.
ー、すげえ。
Okay, fair, yeah.
Yeah, like obviously I'm not wearing shorts and a t-shirt when it's like 0 or 3 degrees or something, but I'm not like horribly uncomfortable or complaining about how bitterly cold it is. When it gets to like negative 10 to negative 20, then it's like, oh, it's a really cold day. Anything below negative 20 is like exceptionally cold. You don't get a lot of those days every year. And on the opposite side, the summer months when it gets hot, I would say I would start complaining about the heat at like 28 degrees or higher. High 20s, low 30s. That for me is a hot day. And then in the very, very rare days, it doesn't happen often. It doesn't even happen every year, but it will get up to 40 sometimes, or high 30s, and that's just like unbearably hot.
Oh, there we are. Okay, so negative 20. That sounds like
Yeah. That's
but
like an
you're saying,
exceptionally cold day, though. Like it doesn't often get to negative 20.
right? That -5, you say, is probably your limit in terms of cold.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily think I need to.
あれもだいぶ飛んできちゃった。
Like I've worked
どこが国立公園なのかよくわかんない。
I would go outside in -5, walk around, not
全般に素晴らしい景色であるのはそうなんだけど。
as possible.
Wow. Okay. I think for myself, maybe like 2 degrees just above freezing sounds like a nice, comfortable thing before I start getting too cold. But this is what I mean by the UK.
すごいね、このでも山のなんていうのか連なりというか、山なのかこれ。山っていう形の地形とはちょい違う気がすんな、この
Low 20s.
火だ。
Low 20. Stuxik actually said that they find that when it's colder than -20, they don't shake with cold. they just shake with anger that it isn't even colder. Is it just one of those, well, if it's going to be cold, it should be cold?
That's an interesting take. Why would you want to be colder?
Brainless, I can't get it working, but on the, I am flying along with you guys in spirit. I do apologize. I did try to troubleshoot, but I didn't have a lot of time to do it.
Meanwhile, Brainless, I have got you in sight directly to my 6 o'clock. 74 of you. Again, these canyons and dried river valleys, this is immaculate scenery here.
栄転だ。
Matt, you should be on Southeast Asia server for Flying Friday if you want to see everyone else in the pack. Here's another fun bit of trivia. -40 is equivalent in Celsius and Fahrenheit.
-40.
Yeah. So -40 Celsius is the same temperature as -40 Fahrenheit.
So we've got a bit of a problem when it matches, right?
Yeah.
テクスチャの緑の斑点は本当は植物なんやろうけどね。
Asian Burrito says, I've experienced -40. It's bad. I don't know if I've experienced -40. I've definitely experienced -30. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good question. What's the coldest temperature I've experienced?
I don't think I've experienced anything less than -10. I'm sorry, chat.
I think probably the hottest I've experienced was in Las Vegas 2 years ago for Flight Sim Expo 2024. I don't know if I told anyone this story. Was going to the airport and Jane ordered an Uber for me from the hotel. And at that hotel we were staying at, there was like a designated Uber pickup spot, like a rideshare pickup spot. And so we've been using that same spot all weekend, the whole time we were at Flight Sim Expo. But for whatever reason, my ride to the airport wanted to pick me up from a different spot. And Jane ended up sending me like a screenshot from her phone of where the driver wanted to meet me. Meanwhile, this is over 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Vegas. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but really, really hot. And I'm having a little brain meltdown because I'm just not handling the heat well. And then my phone comes up with a warning that says, for your device's safety, emergency shutdown, because my phone was overheating. And so I couldn't even navigate to where this Uber driver was wanting to meet me. So I just texted Jane back and said, just cancel this Uber. I'll take a regular taxi to the airport. My brain just cannot deal with this heat anymore.
That was for the expo a couple of years ago, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably some of the hottest weather I'd experienced as well. My phone didn't decide to give up on me, though. That's an interesting one. You must have been radiating as well.
I was. This was the last day, or the Monday, I guess the day after the expo ended. We'd already packed up. Everyone's flight home was sort of at a slightly different time. So we were all traveling to the airport separately. And yeah, that's what happens. Is my phone overheated while my brain was having a literal meltdown from the heat. I think that's probably the hottest temperature I've ever experienced in my life.
Sim Tom says, but it's a dry heat, right?
飛行機の前にガラスの丸いのがなんかついてる。なんだろうあれ。
Minus 40 isn't that bad. You can't feel anything. Yeah, that's probably the red flag on that one. Robbie says, not a fan of dry temperatures below minus 15 when nostrils and eyelashes just freeze and your face gently hurts.
Yeah, I've had that happen.
But you get used to it after a few weeks. It's that second part that gets me. And don't worry, after about 14 days you'll be okay.
Sparrow says last year we had 47 degrees Celsius.
よいしょ。ふわふわ食べようかな。
Just to read that.
Yeah. Johnny says you're having extreme and inconvenient problems connecting your throttle and joystick and thrustmaster airless. Is this something you plan to fix? I don't believe that's broken, Johnny. We have lots of people using those exact controls with no issues at all. I suggest maybe you go to the forums, the exclamation mark forums in the chat, and ask in our user troubleshooting section. See if there's anyone else in the community that might be able to help you with that. Yeah, there should not be a problem at all. In fact, we were exposed a few weeks ago in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and we had that exact setup at one of our stations. No issues. So yeah, type in exclamation mark forums and go there. There's a user troubleshooting section. Hopefully someone in that community will be able to help you with that.
And it goes to the second, the awesome thing about this community. I've never seen a community like it where everyone just helps each other, tries to give each other the best experience in the sim.
Look at this scenery. You know, it might be fun to dive down there and fly through these canyons, but you know, we're on the magenta line. We got autopilot enabled. So speaking of hardware, it's nice to see how much more affordable stuff we have now thanks to MSFS picking up some real control gear. You know, I've said this many times before. We're in a golden age of flight simming right now because Flight Sim 2020 and Flight Sim 2024 have brought in so many new players into the Flight Sim community. And as a result of that, the market for people who want to buy Flight Sim peripherals and hardware has grown significantly. So you got existing companies that are investing more and introducing new products, and you're also getting brand new companies like Wind Control, as Tom mentioned, or Moza, who that's the peripheral I'm using right now. Are entering the market and creating fantastic new products, and in some cases at very affordable price points. And And you know, it's only possible because of the high volume of players that make it enticing for these companies to enter the market and start selling.
Yeah, broad range of really high quality and reasonably priced products. That's what we want to see. So, yeah, incredibly grateful for Flight Sim for doing that, and the community for really getting involved.
Elkin says, I'm looking for a new stick for my Flight Sim setup. Any recommendations? I mean, there's so many good products available right now that it's really hard to make a wrong choice. So I would say it depends on what type of aircraft you like flying. You know, if you're an airliner guy, if you like Boeing, then maybe the Thrustmaster Boeing edition, the yoke, the Airbus side stick for Airbus is a great choice. Wind Control, as Tom mentioned, has been putting out some great products, really well loved by the community. And then I personally am using Moza products myself, the force feedback AB6 stick. Really, really love that. Honeycomb, of course, very well loved in the community. Meridian coming soon. You may have seen, if you're at Flight Sim Expo, you may have seen their display. So some really fantastic, you know, it's hard to go wrong. Turtle Beach, another great company, is putting out some fantastic products too. You know, it's hard for me to even give us a recommendation to say this one is the best, because there's so many good products out there, and you kind of have to pick the one that's right for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with CD that it really matters with what you're often flying, what you would often fly. So currently I'm using the Thrustmaster stuff, but I do have some of the other peripherals and that CD's mentioned, depending on the circumstance.
Yeah, I will say I really enjoy the Moza force feedback stick that I've been using. I haven't had a chance to get hands-on time with it yet, although I believe at Flight Sim Expo they have it in there. The Wind Control also has a force feedback stick coming. I don't know if anyone in the chat has had a chance to try that one before. Is that Orion? Is that the one, or is it a different model? The force feedback one? I can't remember now.
It is the Orion, yeah. It's got the mount and the stick.
Oh, the Cyber Taurus. Yes, that's the.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Oscar Descent mentions Turtle Beach. Yeah, they have a great product. Again, available for PC and Xbox as well. For all you Xbox simmers. And for PS5 users, Thrustmaster, a couple weeks before Flight Sim Expo, announced a new PS5 compatible yoke that's coming soon. Tim says, I recently got the Honeycomb Echo aviation controller. Had to get a friend in the USA to send one over to me as they're in ship to the UK, and they're loving it. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the Honeycomb Echo is like an Xbox style, kind of like this shaped controller, but specifically designed for flight simmers. So it has a lot of features and controls that aren't typically found on a console gamepad. Again, chat, just loving the scenery here in Utah today. This is one of my favorite ones from your flying Fridays from the scenery perspective. Dropship's giving us some World Cup updates. Australia just got a 1-1 equalizer on an Egypt own goal. So for anyone with an interest in the Australia versus Egypt match, now tied 1-1.
We know there was at least one Australian watching on the map earlier on.
Yeah, let's bring our viewer map back now. I'm not about to crash into a mountain. There we go. So once again, if you want to drop your pin on the map, exclamation mark map space, then your location, because where all our viewers are tuning into today. Oh, we actually don't have an Australian viewer. We do have a New Zealand viewer.
That's it.
From Auckland, but no one from Australia viewing. I guess they're all watching the World Cup, right? Their team is playing.
やっぱ同時に見える飛行機が減ってる気がするな。
American viewers. No one from Utah, though. I always like it when we have a viewer coming from the place that we're flying over. We got another New Zealand viewer coming in. From here we go. We have Anthony from Hamilton City. Once again, chat, exclamation mark map, then your location. Reset from I'm from Australia. You're up watching the World Cup too. Well, remember to put your location in there, Reset. Exclamation mark map. And then your space and the location. Always love seeing where everyone's tuning in from. And I love the international representation we have in our community. So it's exclamation mark map, space, and then your city name. That's what we're looking for.
Very late for those in Australia. So it's so if you are tuning in from Australia or even in Asia, thank you very much for spending time with us.
Oh, we do have a Utah viewer now.
Oh,
We've got SU5 from Salt Lake City. Not quite the same part of Utah we're flying over, but definitely part of the same state. And we got an Australian viewer now as well. Reset transponder from Canberra. All right, better go back to watching where I'm flying. Once more. Again, loving the scenery below us. And how far are we? 27 miles from our destination. So yeah, we should arrive maybe slightly early even.
yeah, very good.
We can explore Bryce Canyon a little bit.
I'll just crank up my speed to catch up.
You know, the color of the terrain has changed. It was very orange, brown, rocky earlier. Now as we get closer to Bryce Canyon, we're seeing more like green, trees below us, shrubs. And is that snow on the mountains up ahead? Maybe, or is that just the right side of the mountain? Can't really tell from this distance.
Maybe they're sad. Figure out what altitude I need to be at in order to clear the mountains just ahead of me.
I'm at 10,000 feet now.
Sounds like a plan.
I'm gonna climb up to 11,500 again. Yeah, there's mountains up ahead. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to clear those in 10,000. Big swarm of people flying in formation behind me.
まだあるか。でももうそろそろ右に切り替えてもいいか。
You know about my flying then?
Well, I wonder how much like search and rescue has to take place in this part of the world. You know, hikers and mountain bikers getting injured or lost while exploring the national parks here.
As a bit of a city dweller, it's always a fear of mine to be in an area like this where I can't be rescued or I'm not around other people. But I know, like even myself, I know several people that love that. So just wondered, CD, what type of person are you? Are you a I need people around me kind of extrovert, or are you quite happy to be having a hike somewhere around here, just on the?
Well, let me tell you, I'm naturally I'm an introvert, but I actually like being in a big city with lots of people. But that might seem contradictory, but let me explain. So you have in a big city, nobody cares about you. Like no one, everyone minds their own business. Whereas in a small town, everyone knows everyone. Everyone knows all the gossip about every person. You can't really have privacy. Whereas in a big city where there's like hundreds of thousands or millions of people, everyone's just doing their own thing, and they don't get all up in your business, right? So I'm someone I like living in a big city, but I do definitely enjoy getting into nature, hiking, camping, and so on every now and then. But I'm a city slicker by nature, I would say, naturally. So, but
I just think it's fantastic that the host of MSFS official is an introvert with about 50 people flying along,
right?
With 100 plus people watching.
I have a comment here from the chat. I think this one's directed at you. Can you please let that old-looking grandpa 10 minutes? Know that he looks good today.
It happens every now and then. It's incredible because when you're on Twitch, you get to see how, which is fantastic, by the way. Like how many younger people are in this community now and really enjoying what Microsoft Flight Sim has to offer, and aviation in general. But we talked about Airwolf earlier on, and you immediately went, I don't know how many people this is going to apply to. I find myself doing that as well, going, hold on a second. How many people's heads is that going to yeah. So I do make a bit of a joke about it. That, these kids will get there eventually. They'll be old and grey just like me.
I don't know exactly, but I do think our audience on Flight Simulator might skew a little bit older, just slightly, than the general Twitch viewing audience.
Yeah, I would agree.
So I don't feel too bad when I make
these
TV shares. I trust that at least some of you out there are going to get them. Getting some turbulence right now, and I can feel my Moza 86 stick shaking by itself while I have autopilot enabled. So I think obviously I keep my hand on the stick for safety, as you're supposed to do. But just with a loose grip on the stick, you can feel it shaking and controlling itself and adjusting turbulence. It's a really cool and immersive effect. Ollie's saying our viewers feel really young today with 10 minutes into a landing here.
でもなんか思ったより写真測量エリアは増えて残ったような気がしますね、今日のコースは。見つけられなかった。
Obviously, go to our forums, type !fly. That'll give you a link to today's forum thread. People from the community often post screenshots in that thread after the flight ends. And when we do our full stop landing in Bryce Canyon, we can all get out of our aircraft and gather up as a group.
一応、ワールドアップデート22使うってしたんだけど、もしかして、フライトシミュレーターの再起動が必要だったのかなちょっと救ったかもしれないです。もしかしたらワールドアップデート22が適用されてないかもね。もうちょいあるよね、多分。フォトグラメトリーのエリアが。もう一回また飛んでみるか。フライトシミュレーター再起動して。
Yeah, closing in 11,500 feet. I really had to leave my mixture.
As you were saying, you can see the type of terrain change as well as come back to sandy just over.
Yep.
Over the horizon.
All right. We are 12 miles from Bryce Canyon. We're getting pretty close. Almost be able to see it by now.
This is Grand Canyon 近いって言ってんの?
So I'm just going to do a touch and go and then wait for everyone else.
Cut back to your POV. And as we near the end of our flight today, let me put a link to 10 minutes channel in the chat.
あれか? Bryce Canyon. Bryce Canyon.
And when do you normally stream? And what do you got coming up soon on your channel? It's usually about this time, like the 16 to 1800s you do during the week. A couple times on the weekend. It is inconsistent. Yeah, it would be lovely to see some of you there. We fly mainly airliners. Sometimes something like this.
なんとなくワールドアップデート22が聞いてない気がする。
It's good to hang around and chat about the week as well. So yeah, thank you very much for that, CD. Really grateful to have some extra people from the MSFS official flying along. With our streams.
Yeah, well, really appreciated having you as a guest co-host today. And again, once again, I encourage all the viewers in the chat. Go ahead and click the link I just put there a moment ago.
What's the guest that
and check out his channel.
Well, whether I nail this landing is probably going to be a reason whether they should or shouldn't.
This is the third of the 3 national parks in Utah we're visiting today. We started in Canyonlands and then Arches, and then we're ending our flight in Bryce Canyon. And encourage everyone to check out World Update 22. There are many more parts of the United States, not just Utah, that have their national parks and national monuments updated as well as that. So what better way to celebrate the 4th of July holiday? Maybe virtually some of the national parks like before. All right, disable my autopilot and fly in the rest of the way. Nice.
いや、すごいのいるな。トラックニュートラル。
Guessing Egypt is favored to win that one. Is that right?
Well, I think it's about 50-50. It's anyone's game. I think Egypt is probably slightly stronger, but you don't know.
Yeah, I think most likely the next Canadian game will probably be the end of our Canada will win that one. But you never know, right? That's why they play the games. Upsets do happen. And we saw earlier this week with some of the top 3 teams.
There's already been quite a few upsets in the group stage, so it's interesting.
Last one, I think.
はい、タッチダウン。
Turn off
いやー、今日は飛行機壊したなー。
Loving this beautiful scenery here. Now we are in Bryce Canyon National Park.
ちょっと、なんとなくグライダーが見える。お、ペドキさんのゼロ。大変失礼。
Zero designation, you're coming in hot. I'm doing a much nicer approach on this one than I did touch and go at 53 earlier. That was a very poor approach, very sloppy flying for me, but this was a lot more professional looking.
はい、じゃあ車輪止め。はい、プロペラピッチロー、回転数1400、はい、じゃあ、アイドル、カットオフ、マグネットオフ、燃料コック、クローズ、から電源オフと。おい。座席位置戻し、外に出ると。あ、フラップ上げるの忘れた。やっぱ、ぐわ。まあ、そういうこともあります。よくあります。
There's touchdown. A little bit off the center line, but that's all right.
Very nice.
Turn the player names back on. I'll just pull off the runway here on the side next to all of you, and we can get out and have our group photo, as someone suggested earlier. All right, I'll stop here. Parking brake is on. And here we go. Get out of the plane, walk around. Chat, if you want to, we'll just gather on the runway maybe. Want to come find me in the middle of the runway? Actually, it says, great scenery today. I'll be borrowing this plan later with some online friends. Yeah, this was a great one. You know, again, World Update 22, folks. It's looking great. I really enjoyed our flight. 3 of Utah's most scenic and beautiful national parks today. You know what? Maybe standing on the runway is not the best idea since there's people still landing. Let's get off the runway here. Let's chat. Let's meet up by these helicopters over here. All right, look at all you beautiful people. Nice to see so many people join us for Fly-In Friday.
Well, I see everyone. I see
You
the
do now.
people.
ありがとうございました。いやー、今日も楽しかったけど、なんとなく、ワールドアップデートが聞いてなかった気がする。しまった。昨日いっぺん、負けプレで入れとけよかった。
That's probably where I'm standing. People have gathered around me. All right, well, chat, we're going to sign off here today. Hope everyone enjoyed today's flight. I certainly enjoyed this one a lot. I thought the scenery today on our flight plan was just absolutely stunning. So I had a great time. To all our Canadian viewers out there, a happy belated Canada Day to all of you, and to all our Americans watching, a happy early 4th of July Independence Day to you tomorrow. We will see you all next week.
あ、かっこいいポーズしてる。
In Kiribati, the meme country for flight simulators fans everywhere. And hopefully, schedule permitting, that will be Jane joining us as a guest host, probably for her last time as a member of the Flight Sim team. So, wishing all of you peace and love and a great weekend.
かっこいいポーズしよ
Holiday long weekend for some of you in the United
う。誰
States. We'll see you
皆
next
さ
time.
ん。
Bye, everyone.
ありがとうございました。お疲れ様でした、隊長。あれ、隊長が見当たらないな。なんか、ちょっと今回は、若干スパイしたような気がせんでもないな。ワールドアップデートが効いてる気がせんかったな。ヘリコプター多いね。偉い。やっぱり、国立公園を眺めるにはヘリコプターいいかもしれないですね。あれ、胴体ちょん切れ飛行機。スピットファイヤー。やっぱ銀色の。銀色だけど、だいぶ古っぽい。リバリー。だいぶ使用感あり。こういう擦れた感じってどうやって描くんだろうな。エレクトリカル&ラディオソケット。ほう。あれスピットファイヤーも丸リベット。あ、胴体は丸リベットだけど、翼は沈頭鋲だ。フラットリベットでございます。本当によく描けてんな。でもちょっと遠くで見ると、ラフネスの差が大きすぎて、ちょっと金属に見えないところがありますな。受け読さん、今日もありがとうございました。いい飛行機乗ってらっしゃいますね。日本の海わしですよ。 はい、ということで、Thanks for watching. Good night or have a nice day. 遊んでくださった全世界80億のフライトシミュレーターファンの皆さんどうもありがとうございました。あと、見に来てくださった方もどうもありがとうございました。楽しい週末の始まりですね。皆さんゆっくり、体を休めてください。私、ちょっとこの週末用事があるんだよな。なかなか心の休まる、ところがありませんが、あと体調もちょっとなんとかしないかんですね。体調が悪いと、なんかギャグを言おうとしましたが、親父ギャグも出てきませんでした。ということで、失礼しまうま、どうもありがとうございました。